Hello and welcome to another episode of Quick Expert Reviews. Today we've got the Samsung Galaxy Tab A9, the 2023 model, announced in October 2023 and released at least in UK in December 2023. At least that's when I bought it. As usual, we're going to start with the unboxing. So we've got some paperwork, which is the warranty guide, the quick start guide, and some other leaflets, a USB-C to C cable, and a memory card tray opening tool, and that is pretty much it. Now, the tab itself sports 8.7-inch display, which is 18 by 1340 pixels. We've got a power button, volume up, volume down, a microphone, speaker on the left, and as you've seen on the right, memory card tray on the bottom. And then we do have a front-facing camera, which is 2 megapixels. Wow, absolutely amazing. 2 megapixels in 2023. And then we've got an 8 megapixel camera on the back. To be honest, I'd prefer it the other way around for video calls, but hey ho. The device itself is pretty lightweight, to be honest. It feels like it doesn't weigh anything whatsoever. I believe it's 323 grams. We are running on Android 13 with an One UI 5.1.1. In terms of options and cool additional features, we've got 64 gigs of internal storage, and we do also have 1.3 gigabytes of RAM memory out of 4 free. Interesting. In terms of additional features, we've got the Samsung Galaxy Labs, which allows us to set some apps to work in a landscape view. So if you've got a, let's say Reddit, for example, doesn't work in a landscape view, you can force it to work in a landscape view. Security, to check our security and privacy, where we at with it, and the lock screen. We've got different options. So we've got PIN, password, pattern, swipe, and face. Now, face is not recognized as an authorized security feature, so your banking apps will still require a PIN code or screen password. Home screen, obviously we can adjust it to our liking, and then in terms of display, we've got light mode, we've got dark mode. In terms of the dark mode itself, we've got dark mode settings to be turned on as scheduled if you'd like to, so sunset to sunrise, or at your own time. So you can set it up to, let's say, turn on at 5 o'clock in the evening and turn off at 5 o'clock in the morning. Same applies to Eye Comfort Shield, which removes the blue hue from the display. It makes it easier, makes the display easier on your eyes, especially in the evening. And then one of my favorite features of any Samsung device is the edge panels. So the edge panels are panels that slide from the edge. Who would have thought that? You can customize them to your liking. So what do you want to use? You can use Smart Select, which allows you to capture screenshots. You can set it up to show you the weather. But the feature I use the most is the actual apps. So you don't have to go back to the main menu, the main screen, to fire up any apps. You can just use that. And obviously this is your introduction into multitasking mode as well. So you can have two side-by-side apps and then the third one as a small app in the middle. You can also favorite that to taskbar, home screen, or the actual edge panels. So whenever you click that icon, it shows up both apps that you've saved. So in this scenario, it's the settings and Chrome. Now, if you'd like to, with the edge panels, you can actually remove the apps that are there pre-installed, and you can add your own. So, for example, you can create folders as well. So I'm going to move Gmail into Chrome. So you can rename it to Google folder, for example. Or you can just remove that and then add Gmail as a separate app. So if it's an app that you use very often, you can obviously put it onto the edge panels, and it will also show you your most recent apps. Okay, let's go back to the settings themselves. Okay, let's put that to the side. Now you can adjust the edge panel setting, so you can lock the handle in one position, or as you can see, because it's unlocked, I can move it up and down. You can change the color of the edge panel, the transparency, the size of it, and so on. So it's very, very, very useful tool, and I'm glad it's here on this A9 tab. Okay, so we did cover home screen, we've covered display, we've got the taskbar as well. So taskbar is the thing on the bottom where it shows you shortcuts to your apps. Again, looks and works quite similar to the edge panel. Now, if you'd like to, you can press and hold your finger so it vanishes. It does auto hide automatically as well, but if you're reading something, for example, and it's there, you can press and hold for it to hide, and then press and hold for it to show up again. Navigation bar. So it's good to have buttons, like for example my mom, she's very used to 3 buttons, so back, home and recents. She just can't adjust to gestures. I prefer swipe gestures, but it's good to still have that option if you're used to the 3 buttons. And then we're going to move on to the sound. So we've got sound quality and effects. You've got Dolby Atmos in gaming, and you've got Dolby Atmos, which it enhances the audio quality in movies, music, voice, or you can leave it on auto, so it will automatically recognize what type of content you are watching, playing, and using. And separate app sound allows you to play music separately or audio from the phone and then from a Bluetooth speaker as well. Connected devices, you've got quick share between your laptop or your Galaxy phone. You've got call and text on other devices. So for example, you can take a call from this tablet when you've got your Galaxy phone connected to it. Continue apps on other devices, so it only supports Samsung Internet and Samsung phones, but again, whatever you're using on your phone, you can carry on using on your tablet and vice versa. And then when it comes to connections, you've got Wi-Fi obviously, and you've got Bluetooth tethering as well. So if you're using a Wi-Fi connection on your tablet, you can share that connection onto any other device. Okay, so that is all in terms of the settings themselves. Now we're gonna have a look at what is pre-installed. Not that much. You can obviously remove the Samsung Free or Global Goals, but we're gonna do some productivity. So you can fire up Excel, you can fire up Word. We're gonna start with Excel, and then again I'm gonna show you how you can use it, the edge panels, either as a um, window that you can move around. You can resize it as well if you'd like to, if you need to use a calculator, but you can also do it in a split screen view, as you can see. So you've got 2 apps next to each other side by side. I prefer to use the calculator on its own, not next to the Excel, because on this not so big screen, it actually takes a lot of screen estate. And then when it comes to Word, again, exactly the same case. So if you're using Word, you can, for example, open Chrome if you need to look something up, and then you can use that together with Word, or you can use any other app. Obviously, this is just an example, so any app you'd like to use, you can use with Word, or you can just use Word on its own. Okay, so we can close that. And then let's go back to the main menu itself. Now, when it comes to audio quality, the tab itself is quite loud. So I'll let you listen to the trailer. Now, if you've been on the channel for quite some time, you know I've used to play different trailers, but unfortunately I had so many copyright strikes from Sony, Universal and all that just because I played trailers of their movies that I just gave up. And you can also use the USB OTG, as you can see. So it does support USB on the go. Unfortunately, it does not support USB display out. So it doesn't allow you to share your screen onto the monitor or anything like that. But it does allow you to connect a keyboard, a mouse. Now, this receiver is for the keyboard because that keyboard does not support Bluetooth, but the MX2 Anywhere mouse that I'm using here as well does actually support Bluetooth. So one device is connected via Bluetooth, the other one has to be connected via the receiver. As you can see though, it works fine. You can adjust the volume and everything. And it also supports the gestures. Now, obviously, if it supports Bluetooth, it's going to support controllers as well. So I'm going to fire up Minecraft. I'm going to respawn because I've been killed. Probably the first person to be killed in Minecraft. Now, there is a bit of a lag, and at the beginning I didn't know what is actually going on. I mean, 4 gigs of RAM, yes, yeah, that's absolutely fine, but there was quite a significant lag between what's happening, what I'm doing on the controller itself and what is happening on screen. So I didn't actually know what is going on. I did disconnect the controller, tried it later on with the touch controls. It was lagging as well, slightly, but as you can see, it's slightly better. Now, the game itself, Minecraft itself, I had to adjust some settings, so I will show you in a second, because unfortunately, the MediaTek Helio G99, which is built in 6 nanometer process, unfortunately did struggle a bit with the game itself, well, as you can see for yourself. However, the good news is after I've connected the controller again, it seemed to work absolutely fine, so not sure what happened with the initial setup. But as you can see, the game does lag a bit, so I had to adjust some settings, which I will show you in a second. You do get 4 gigs of RAM on the 64 gig model, and you actually get 8 gigs of RAM on the 128 gigs model. So double the storage, double the amount of RAM. This is the 4 gig model, so I'm not sure if that's why it's struggling so much, because Minecraft is quite a CPU heavy game, but you do get exactly the same chipset on the 64 and 128 gig model, so yeah, it's a tough one. However, as soon as I've switched everything off, basically, the game started to play quite fine. Now, the first couple of seconds, it's gonna lag a bit, as you can see. It's adjusting the settings, but as soon as the new lowered settings kick in, it's an absolute joy to play. Now, the tab itself does struggle a bit with this. You can play Call of Duty Mobile as well. However, um, it didn't play that well either. Yeah, I think Minecraft is the best you can actually do when it comes to gaming. You can probably play like Fruit Ninja and stuff like that as well, but in terms of demanding titles, Minecraft is probably the most you can get out of the A9 2023 model. Okay, let's get out of Minecraft. And one last thing I wanted to show you is the external memory support as well. So in the previous tablet reviews, most of the time you ask me about the OTG support. So I did show you that obviously it supports receivers, but it also supports pen drives, hard drives, and stuff like that. So this is my 32 gig USB 3.0 SanDisk pen drive. Obviously, because it's a Type C, this pen drive does require an adapter, which Samsung used to actually add for free of charge into the boxes with their phones, but it's not the case anymore. But as you can see, it shows the USB storage just fine, and obviously I can use my mouse because it's connected via Bluetooth. So, thanks for watching another episode of Quick Expert Reviews. If you've got any questions, please ask them in the comment section below, and have a lovely day. Take care, everyone. Bye.